Hello everyone, and thank you for staying with Football Planet, a show dedicated to African and world football news. This is your weekly football show right here on Africanews. Coming up, Ahly is very close to a 9th continental crown in the African Champions League. The Egyptian won the first round of the final against Esperance of Tunis. Video assistance referee dominates debates in the CAF Champions League final, which was used for the first time in the League of Champions. Was the VAR a flop? We'll speak to our Togolese colleague Stephen Lavon for his thoughts. Also ahead is the CAN Under-23 in our Guinea's re-establishing her rights. The national elephant to be part of the qualifying campaign beginning next Monday. All the details from the first round of playoffs coming up right now. Hello again, and this is Football Planet. Let's begin with the African Champions League. The final of the finals will be held in Tunis next Friday. The Egyptians of Ahly have an upper hand following a 3-1 victory in the first leg against Esperance of Tunis in Cairo. It's a success achieved after a tough match and a highly contested video refereeing decisions. Here are some highlights by Bridget Ugwe and Elaine Wangawa.
African giants Ahly and Esperance renewed their rivalry in the first leg of the African Champions League final in Alexandria on Friday. Walid Soliman scored 2 VAR penalties to give Egypt's Ahly a 3-1 first leg win over Esperance. This was the first time VAR was used in the Champions League final. The Tunisians clawed their way back into the game after 64 minutes via the only penalty of the 3 in which the match official did not use VAR. Esperance have won the title twice, but they lost 1-0 at home to Ahly in the group stages of the competition. Ahly have won their last 3 away matches against Esperance in the Premier African Club competition and are favoured to lift the trophy, a record extending 9th time after the return. The second leg takes place at Stade Olympique in Rhodes on November 9. At stake is not just the trophy but the prize of $2.5 million. The winners will also automatically qualify for the 2018 FIFA Club World Cup in the United Arab Emirates.
And it was an interesting atmosphere with a bit of tension, as is always the case in the Great Maghreb derbies. To speak to us about this is Togolese journalist Stephen Lavon. Hello, Stephen. You followed the first leg of the Champions League final. Much has been said about arbitration errors. Despite the use of video referencing, do you also think this distorted the game?
Well, let's just say that the game had a rather important effect on the outcome of this final, because you saw that there were 3 penalties and 2 were questionable. And even the last one is something you could raise a lot of questions. So it means there were problems related to this game, and nobody can deny it. In fact, as for the VAR controversy, it will not be so helpful in Africa as we saw it recently, even during the last World Cup in Russia. The use of technology was really not well appreciated by even the observers in the world football. And as for what is in for Africa, is the second time that CAF uses this VAR in its competitions. So we can say that they are in their beginning, so it will raise a lot of debates. Personally, I am not for the VAR at all. I prefer that the game stays as it always has been. So yes, to the return to this final between Ahly and Esperance of Tunis. The away team played a very big role in the game because there were many mistakes on the part of the Algerian Abid Sharif.
And how do you see the return match in Tunis, particularly in view of what happened in Cairo?
Of course, the return match will also be very followed, and it will be eagerly awaited too. It's a game with a lot of stakes, even before the whistle turns it on. After this, I think that Tunisian should leave aside the anger to be able to focus on the game. They have 2 goals to go up. They have the ability to do it. They have the weapons to do it. It's also true that Esperance will be deprived of 2 players, who have been suspended. Important players including defender Awadi and Cameroonian midfielder Frank Nkom, who are very, very decisive for this team throughout the campaign. This will be an important element that will need to be replaced. If the coach manages to find a certain balance with his players, they can beat Ahly. But you know, Ahly is a big team that has a lot of experienced players who know this stage of the competition. They will obviously manage this final return to be able to get their hands on this 9th continental crown. But in any case, what can be said is that the final return will also be very much contested.
Thank you very much, Stephen Lavon.
Thank you, Sambu.
See you soon, and to all our viewers in Lome, Togo, and indeed West Africa, let me remind you that the second leg of the Champions League final is scheduled for next Friday at 7 hours GMT. Another Champions League, the UEFA, is back this week. It's the 4th leg already. We should know the first qualified and first eliminated team. There are 2 surprises to follow: Naples versus PSG and Atletico Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund, as can be seen in this complete fixtures. Let's talk about corruption scandal that shook Ghana's football a few months ago. The episode was thought to be over a lifetime suspension of the former Federation President Kwesi Nyantakyi. But this is far from being the case. The former Ghanaian football boss has been hitting back. Serge Kofi and Jerry Bambi have the details.
The former president of Ghana's Football Federation is not giving up the fight, but instead has chosen to do all to clear his name. Can he do that? Kwesi Nyantakyi announced on Wednesday his intention to file an appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, challenging his ban for life by FIFA's Ethics Committee, a decision that he considers unfair, severe and unjustified. The former head of Ghana football in a statement said he was shocked, sad, after the announcement of his sanction last week. I will use all available legal means to seek redress and restore the facts that I presented to the committee. Even though I have already resigned from all my posts in football, it is important that I reinstate the facts for the sole purpose of clearing my name. His statement read, "You will recall that his sanction and subsequent life ban from all football-related activities followed a corruption scandal that shook Ghanaian football recently, and of which Kwesi was at the very center."
That we continued. Now to the CAN Under-23 2019. The long campaign for Nigeria's accession begins next Monday. Of the 42 countries that entered, 13 were exempted from the first round. And contrary to what was indicated in the draw, Guinea will be competing well for these qualifiers. The national elephant will face Mauritania for an exciting West African derby. Note that Gambia had to withdraw, thus allowing Libya to directly qualify in the next round. Here are results of the first games. We will return to these qualifiers of the CAN Under-23 scheduled for next year in Egypt in detail. But first, some updates on the CAN 2019. The seniors on Claude Leroy's list for the Algerian reception, slated for November the 16th, met Emmanuel Adebayo. Last month, the captain of the Hawks refused to play the match against Gambia because of the state of the pitch at the Lomé Municipal Stadium. Currently third in their group, the Togolese must win the game against the Phoenix for a chance to qualify. On a rather sad note, Leicester players have paid tribute to their former chairman, who died a little over a week ago in a helicopter crash. The Foxes went Bangkok on Sunday to attend his funeral. Before jetting off to the Thai capital, the team won the championship.
We honor our chairman with a good feeling, with a good game, and I hope it will be also a good game. Of course, we have to manage other game like this game, and it will be difficult to prepare the next game, of course. But I'm proud about my players in this condition. It was fantastic, also, of course, to share this good result, these feelings with our fans at the end, because it's all the family together, giving his best and honoring our chairman.
That's right, emotions in the Foxes coach Frenchman Claude Piel, and we hope to see teams from the continent participate. That's how we end this program, but do log on to Africanews.com. Feel free to send in your comments and suggestions via the addresses on your screen. Have an excellent week and goodbye.